Return of the bench. Return of the bench. Return of the bench. Buzz. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bench Buzz.
Hey guys, I'm Val.
I'm Tori. We like to welcome you guys back to our podcast, the best podcast in the world.
Hopefully we're trying to get there.
So yeah, we weren't here last week, but we're here now.
We back.
About to cover 2 eps. Right now we're at Fantasy Suites. Gonna watch that tonight with
Yes, oh my god. Yes.
freaking Victoria F,
Fake.
Hannah Ann,
Fake.
and who? Oh, Madison.
Madison. Fake. Just kidding. They're not all fake. Just...
So there's a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. But before we do that, let's just do a little quick chit chat. So how you been, Val? Since we missed last week, anything happening? What's going on?
Let me think. No, just chilling. Last weekend was Valentine's, or not last weekend, the weekend before was Valentine's Day weekend. Good times. A day full of love. We had Galentine's Day, but me and Tori were not together. So actually,
What?
Tori's in the Valley. I'm here in San Antonio. And then weekend of Valentine's Day weekend, I went home to the Valley, and Tori was up here in San Antonio, and we just missed each other.
We passed by on the freeway, and
truly.
we were like, bye.
Like, as soon as you were like, hey, I just got into San Antonio, I was like, hey, I'm just leaving San Antonio. So we missed each other, and then this weekend, went out with some friends, and one of my friends is starting something that is near and dear to my heart, and I really would just like a lot of people to just love and support this wonderful cause.
Mm-hmm.
He started an Instagram for reviewing chicken tenders.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like a cause that's near and dear to my heart. Tori always makes fun of me because supposedly I always order chicken strips at every restaurant I go. I have a unique palate, and so my
that's what we'll call it.
My taste buds are very peculiar to chicken strips only. So yeah, he is starting an Instagram where he is going around San Antonio and reviewing the best chicken strips. So the user handle on Instagram is chicken strip drip. You heard it here first. Y'all go
Honestly,
follow it.
I think that is I feel like a lot of people will be interested in knowing his findings of all the chicken strips within San Antonio.
No, yeah.
And their rating.
Yeah, and honestly, chicken strips are they're just a good classic staple.
Yeah, I think they're a staple.
Yeah, if there's something on the menu, you're at a restaurant, you can decide, or nothing really looks good to you. True, tried and true, will never fail you is chicken strips. And then you can get any kind of dipping sauce. You can get gravy, you can get barbecue, you can get honey mustard, you can get ranch, you can get ketchup. It's just the perfect thing.
I don't know about ranch, but never heard that one, but
what?
I don't judge.
Okay, all this got awkward. What about you, Tori? How was your past 2 weekends? How you been, girl?
Past 2 weekends was good. I have been grinding with school, and midterms are coming up.
Midterm seasons are upon us. You got it, girl.
Yeah.
We believe in you. The fan base of Bench Buzz, which is
me and you.
4 people. We are behind you. We got you. We love you. You can do it.
Thank you so much.
School's almost over. You're graduating soon.
Benches unite.
Benches assemble. Okay. So I'm glad oh my god, I'm glad we're back.
I'm glad we're black too, Val.
That's like that episode of Friends when...
What? What the hell?
That episode of Friends when Chandler is trying to say, but why would he want his blue blazer back? But he messes it up, and then he's why would he want his blue blazer black? And then he's like, and they're like, I don't know, Chandler, why would he want his blue blazer black? And it's like super funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that wasn't like in the script, right? That was like a
I think
blooper.
that was like flubbed, and then they still kept it in there.
That's so funny.
Anyways, I'm glad to be back. See, it's been a while. Like my mouth just isn't like moving like it should. I gotta get into it, you know.
Yeah.
So we're back. We're ready to cover everything we need to know going into Fantasy Suites tonight.
All I gotta say is Victoria F is psycho, and I hate her.
All I gotta say is Victoria F. If I see you in these streets. No, I'm just kidding. But she is literally crazy. I cannot
Victoria
stand
F.
her.
The F stands for fake.
It's
but
the truest
even
thing.
though
That's
her
the
last
name of this
name is
episode.
Fuller, she is full of fake. I mean, I was gonna say something else, but we're keeping it PG.
Are we? I say a lot of curse words on this show.
Well, I guess in that instance, but
yeah, and the F stands for fake. Like that's probably gonna be the name of this episode.
Fake
bitch. Yeah, it's the truth. So if we're go back with this, you guys. We are gonna start off when we're trying to figure out what girls we're gonna go to hometowns. Okay, so this is when they're in Peru. We still at this point had Kelly.
Rip.
Honestly, she was just a woman who is just too good for Peter and this show.
Yeah,
and I love her so much.
We said it before. I'll say it again. She was literally the most normal girl with the most level-headed freaking state of being, freaking lawyer. But we'll get into that.
Yes. So at this point, we still had Kelly. We still had Madison. We still had Natasha. We still had Hannah Ann, Kelsey, and Victoria F. Only 4 go on to hometowns. And so they were in Peru. At the beginning of the episode, Natasha's like, I'm the only one here who hasn't had a one-on-one. I really need a one-on-one so me and Peter can, like, establish things, like, get, like, to the level that everybody else is at. They come in with the date card. Madison gets the one-on-one. They do not give the one-on-one to Natasha. Low-key, I love when that happens, when the girls are like, I really need this one-on-one. Like, I'm pretty sure this next, like, the one-on-one card is going to be for me. And then a girl reads it, and they're like, Madison. And then the camera goes to the other girl, and she's, like, pissed. So, Madison gets the one-on-one. It is her second one-on-one. If we remember, at this time, her first one was the vow renewal of Peter's parents. She got the first one-on-one ever. And so,
wait, quick question. Who got the first impression rose? Was it Hannah Ann?
Hannah Ann, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And so when she gets the one-on-one, all the girls are back at the house, or like the hotel or whatever in Peru, and the girls are talking about how Madison hasn't opened up to Peter about her religious background yet, and we get into that a lot at the hometown. Spoiler alert: Madison goes on to hometowns, and Kelsey, who is just like the voice of reason on this show, along with Kelly, and should have not gone home. She is just so wise, and she's saying like how Madison is very religious, and how like no matter if you have a connection with someone, like if certain parts of your life don't line up with like your significant other, like it could make or break like a relationship, which she's not wrong. And like Madison let it go so far into a deep connection without bringing up these things that are very important to her when it comes to like religion and relationship, which I would have thought she should have brought up on the first one-on-one.
Because it seems like to her, like that's what her life primarily revolves around, and I feel like that's probably the first step you do, or the first thing you talk about when it's like becoming serious, because also like statistically speaking, that's one of the top things that reasons for divorce. It's religion and financial, like literally across, I think, universally. Yeah. But so I don't know, kind of weird. She didn't really think about that.
Not even like, okay, like their first one-on-one, it was the first one-on-one of the whole season, so maybe she didn't need to bring it up then. They were still just trying to get to know each other. But she has spent so much time in group date settings or even at the cocktail hours where she's like, hey, Peter, can I steal you for a sec? And, like, those are also opportunities to get to know Peter. And she could have brought it up then also.
Like when Peter was telling after the novella date, when Peter was giving her the script and they were having that moment, like there was multiple times where they had those like little moments in the group dates.
Yeah, and then like even if you look at like Kelsey, her one-on-one dates, like she had opened up to him many times and like got super serious with him. And like because she knew like, hey, this is a short amount of time and I want you to know all of me and all the parts of me to make sure like this is something that's gonna be long lasting. And so you do have to talk about the serious things and not be just like so giggly and lighthearted the way Madison and Peter have been to this point. And like they're so far along that like it's crazy she got this far without bringing up those things.
I feel like Kelsey also like I adore her for like being so open, so transparent, like 110% of the time. Like even when she was confronted by the other evil girls like out to get her, Tammy was like calling her an alcoholic and whatnot, and Tammy was like, I mean Kelsey was just like, okay, yeah, so I drink and what, like you know, like she still like stayed true to herself even when she was like
being backed into a corner.
Yeah, so
absolutely
she's there for her and like trying to find her true soulmate. So
yeah. Which is, like, why I love Kelsey White. She deserved so much better. And so they went on the date. They did, like, some boat date. They were, like, fishing or something like that. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, personally, that is not a date for me.
Personally, I've never been fishing, and I'd be down to try it. But I just don't really like touching fish.
Yeah, that, I don't know how... yeah.
I mean...
Like, on a boat would be cool if it was, like... a cool nice boat and we're just like laying on like the top like tanning.
Yeah, getting that sun, that vitamin D.
Yeah, but like fishing and then grabbing the fish. Yeah, that's not for me. But you know, to each their own. They seem to have a good time. Then they did the nighttime part of the date, and that's when Maddie finally starts opening up. And she says that she really wants someone who resembles her dad and wants someone who has a relationship with the Lord. What are your thoughts on that?
Wait, is that everything?
No, I mean, she just says...
I was going to say, this conversation, like, just triggered me a little bit, but,
well, do you want me to say the stuff that Peter says back to her?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, Peter tells her, like, your faith inspires me so much. I was raised in a Christian household, and I definitely have faith. I feel like my faith can be stronger, and that's just me being honest, but it is important to me. And then Peter tells her, I feel so good about you. I know that I am falling in love with you. And she doesn't say anything back. She doesn't say, I'm starting to fall in love with you too. She just smiles and kisses him, and she's like, I love that. And that's it. So,
yeah.
Thoughts? What triggered you, Toria? Let us know what's going on.
I thought it was a good conversation because they were both very honest. Madison like threw it all on the table, and then Peter like threw it all back. And I thought it was kind of funny how after Madison finished her monologue, Peter took a moment and was like, you inspire me. And so I was like, okay, so they're both definitely not on the same page when it comes to religious views.
They're not.
And I don't know. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was when Madison stated, like, marriage, you do it once, you find your person, and that's it. Blah, 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 blah. And that was, like, what kind of triggered me because, I mean, I understand that's, like, part of the Christian, or I don't know, Catholic Christian view. But, I don't know, like, stuff doesn't always work out. And I think it's, like, kind of, I don't know what the right word is. It's just not realistic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like you can marry someone and, you know, just become unhappy or realize you're not the best together anymore. And, like, that's totally okay. Or, like, your spouse passes away, you know? Like, you're allowed to remarry. Like, it's not the end-all, be-all.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
I don't
No,
know.
yeah. I feel like it's a little like dated and a little
Yeah, I think so too.
a
Just a
little
little.
like small-minded thinking, like the world
Yeah.
is so big now, like, you know what I mean, like, I don't know, I feel the same way. And but like it's just so they don't seem like they're on the same page when it comes to religion. Like, she is very strong, like, in her religion, like that is who she is. And
Yep.
like, you don't like say like, oh well, I'm not that into it, but like I could be into it because of you. Like, no, like you don't do you
It
don't
doesn't
don't
go that
get
way.
into a religion and like become strong in it because the person you're into like wants that for you. Like, you want
It's
it for
like backwards.
you want it for yourself. Like, you know what I mean? And then like you guys help grow and build each other up in that religion, in the Lord together. Versus like doing it for them, because then it's not of your heart. It's not, you know what I mean?
Like
And
your value.
Yeah, and so, and like if Madison wasn't saying like, oh, I'm so strong in my faith, and he's like, okay, like I want to be that for you. The other girls aren't telling that to him, so he's not like, it's not strong in his heart to be more into his faith, because Victoria F isn't telling him that, so he's not like, oh, you know what, like I do need to be more into my faith and overall for myself, because I mean none of the other girls are saying that. He's just saying it because like, oh well, Madison wants that for me, so I want that for me.
Yeah, and I feel like both of them are kind of thinking like this can work, like I'm gonna change him, and then
Yeah.
and then Peter's thinking this can work, I'm gonna get her out of the South, and we're gonna move to California.
Yeah, I
And
don't know.
and
That's
they're both like okay, we'll fix this, but
Yeah.
it's not they're not on the same page. And then also another thing I just thought of, Madison I think also said like my dad, or was it, no, I think it either her or Hannah Ann, they were saying my dad is able to love his family so much because of his relationship with Christ,
Oh,
or something like
I'm
that.
pretty sure that was Madison, yeah.
And then I was like, what does that mean exactly? So are you saying like, I don't know. You know, it's just a little
Yeah,
close-minded. Like, other religions are able to love their families just as much. They're
Yeah.
just as capable. Like, don't think that was a very, I don't know, a little
Dang.
triggering.
We
That's
getting
all
a
I'm
little
gonna say.
we're getting into religion over here. We're just like full rounded podcast over here. We talk about everything. But then that's the other thing that's like really confusing for me and hard for me, because I really like Madison and Peter together. Like, my ship for them, the SS Pattison, I like it. I want it to sail into the sunset, you know? And so
Who's Pattison?
Peter and Madison.
Oh. I was like, Robert Pattison? Like,
Oh my god!
he got a boat?
That's their ship name, SS Pattison. Come on,
That's
girl.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ships
but-
have sailed.
Yes, and I really like them. So like all of this is just like making me like really like, ooh, maybe they're not meant to be together.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so he says like, oh, I'm trying to fall in love with you. She's like, thanks, me too. No, well, she doesn't say me too. She's just like,
She's like, okay.
she's like, I love that. And then they just kiss, and then he's like, will you accept this rose? So she is moving on to hometowns. And so then oh, and then the whole time all the girls are back at the hotel, and Natasha's like, hopefully that bitch doesn't come back.
Yes. Hopefully that bitch doesn't come back.
I love Natasha. I
love her
so
too.
sad. Okay. And so Natasha, after Madison got the one-on-one, Natasha now gets the one-on-one, surprisingly.
What was her date card?
I forgot what it's. Oh my god, is that the one that Hannah Ann butchers?
That's what I was about to say. She's like, vamos a la explore or something.
Yeah,
right?
she butchered the Spanish. I was like so embarrassed. Like, I'm so embarrassed for all Spanish-speaking
Secondhand
people.
embarrassment.
Yeah. And so they go explore Peru. They're walking around the streets of Peru. And, like, why does Peter feel the need to always kiss girls with food in his mouth? Like, with food in the mouth. Like, food, is that, like, a turn-on for him? Like, he sees a girl eating and he's like, time to make out. Like, I don't get it.
Are you talking about? Wait, what part are you talking about? What were they eating?
They were eating like churros or something like that, and
Okay,
like they're
yeah,
eating
yeah.
that, and then he's like, "Kiss me," and I'm like, "You got food in your mouth," like. And then the time before that with Hannah Ann and the mayo and
the
like
freaking hot dog.
yes, with the mayo on it, all like so much mayo. Like it
Okay.
was,
Also, honestly, I'm gonna say he really loves his food because
that's
later
true.
when he went on the date with Victoria F, and then
oh my god, he was
later,
eating all the street meat.
yes, and then in the end scenes after the credits, he was just like, oh yes, oh that's so good, and I was just like, wait. What?
Yeah,
I had turned away from the TV, and then I was like, wait, what is he doing?
You're like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, oh yeah, Peter is like, they're talking, they're having a good time, and then Peter says that she's always been honest with her. Oh wait, that she's always been honest with him, and he says sometimes too honest, and,
Natasha? Or
no, Peter says that to Natasha. I'm like, that's kind of rude.
What does that mean? Too
like, right?
honest?
Yeah, he's like, you've always been really honest with me. Sometimes too honest. I'm like, what?
That
like,
is not the
yeah,
right.
I know.
You don't
And
say that. Like, she's just straightforward, and she is the epitome of I don't got time.
He just loves a girl that cries and is like, I love you. I'm here for you. Like, and like the second a girl tells him like, well, like I'm not like. All this other this drama is petty, and like he loves the drama, and he's like, ooh, you're too much for me.
That's his definition of like too honest.
Yeah,
like,
and so
boy.
Although Natasha does say it in her side interview, she's like, honestly, the last guy that broke up with me said that I was too intense for him. Which, I mean,
she's dating the wrong men.
Yeah,
that's
she
all
is.
I gotta say.
Yeah, she is, but she's funny. But then they do the nighttime date, and
oh, but also going back, when I rewatched it and they were dancing, I was cringing.
Peter and
Peter and Natasha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely a big cringe moment.
Yeah.
I don't think Peter can dance at all.
He cannot.
Unfortunately,
and he thinks he can because he's Cuban.
He's Cuban.
Part
Is
Cuban.
he Cuban or is he
Cuban?
Colombian?
I thought it was. Ooh.
Shoot.
I'm so sorry.
I don't think
not
it's
to
Cuban.
offend anyone.
But anyway, I know that his German side is showing. So his dad's German, and that's definitely what those dance moves were.
Yeah, and like he just really thinks he can dance, and he like cannot. And I'm just like
poor little soul. But
poor thing, yeah. And then so they do the nighttime date, Natasha and Peter, and he tells her like, I feel like I can see that potential, but I feel like it's just a friendship with us, and I can't give you this rose. I hate to say it, but I called it that Natasha was not going to hometowns, and so she's not. I don't know if she'll go to Paradise, though.
I really hope she does, though.
I think
she's a Paradise girl.
I hope she does, but I also think she's just above all the drama.
She is, but that's why I think, like, in Biff,
that's why I think she'll thrive in it.
Okay, me too. Like, you're able to do your own thing. It's not like you're all fighting for one guy.
That's very true. Unless it's like you guys want the same guy that comes down.
Yeah, unless, it's like a,
freaking Deanie Babies in.
I was about to say, Christina, Kaylin.
But, so I do hope she goes to Paradise. I think she'll do great in it. But also, like, that's why I also like her for these shows, because she's above the drama, so she's not going to take crap from anyone, and she will tell it like it is, and she'll be like, I can steal your man if I want to.
And that's
like,
I can steal your man if I want to.
Like, she will do it and she doesn't care, and that's what I like about her, and that's why we need her for Paradise.
Yeah, it's like refreshing to see that, like,
for
snap.
Sure.
Like, beach, no.
Yeah, like when she went at Peter, because Hannah B kept coming around. She's like, well, we, like, the amount of times we've seen you, we've seen her. Like, how are you going to get over your ex when she's still around? I'm like, that's right, honey. Like, tell him what's up. So that's why we need her for Paradise. I hope she comes around for Paradise. And then they show the girls at the hotel, and I love when they show the person getting the suitcase, and all the girls see the suitcase leaving, and all the girls' reaction freaks out. Like, I love those scenes. Like, I live for those scenes. And I didn't know like I saw this thing going around that the guy that went in to take the suitcase
Yes.
was
Yes.
was a guy from Barstool, and I was like,
Yes.
what the heck? Like that's
Yes.
so cool. How do I get on the show to be the
I
suitcase
know.
person?
That's
Because
so funny.
I want to audition. I want to be like go in like super dramatic and be like and grab the suitcase and be like, she going home, ladies, and that's what I'm gonna say. And I want to do that. So like. I need to find the guy, the Barstool guy who
We'll changed
his Twitter handle to suitcase guy from Bachelor, and
Yes,
I thought
I
that
saw
was
that.
so funny. And like, and then his Abby picture on Twitter was just the back of him grabbing the suitcase.
Yes, leaving the hotel room.
That was so funny. I thought that was so cool. And then like all the girls, it shows like all the girls freaking out, and I love when they show that so much.
I know, that's so funny. But also, what I noticed. And I don't know if you noticed this. I think it was did they show Madison's suitcase? I don't know. I saw a super cute suitcase and I was like, okay, true. Like if that was me, I would buy a new suitcase just
100%.
for those 5 seconds that they're going to see my
No, yeah.
Cuz I am not going to bring my freaking 10-year-old raggedy
The current one I have now, it's breaking
Yes.
apart. It has rips
only
on the
has
side.
2 wheels.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's an ugly color. It's like the one
It's
black
faded.
color that matches all the other black suitcases, and you always end up grabbing the wrong one.
Yeah.
Like when they
it's
come
broken.
out. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Yeah, I would have to get a new like super cute one. I don't care how much it is. Like,
Monogram.
no,
like.
truly. Like, because it needs to have its moment on.
Yes,
On
that's
The
what I'm
Bachelor.
saying. Like your exit, it's everything. Even the suitcase, like even the suitcase has to have its own
Yeah.
dramatic exit.
Absolutely, yeah. And so then they go. Oh, then it's Kelsey's. Kelsey gets the next one-on-one, and
That's
they had
the one with the hill, right? They climb up the hill.
yes. They had a pretty cool one-on-one though. They ride the ATVs at first.
Oh yeah.
Which I think that would be really cool to do, like in the countryside of Peru with all those gorgeous
Yeah,
mountains and like
beautiful.
alpacas on the side. Like that, she got a cool date. I don't know if like the daytime date, like riding ATVs, it's not as intimate as like walking around the streets of Peru and stuff like that. Like you don't get to talk to them, but like
Yeah.
you're stuck in like in a hotel room all the time. Like you don't really get to see a lot of these countries you go to because like you're just there on a date with a guy and like you go to a place where the producers tell you to go. So I think riding ATVs, even if you don't get a lot of intimate time with Peter, like you're gonna have the nighttime date, and like I think that's super fun. Like
Yeah, I think it's also like really balanced like that too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And did you see when Kelsey was like in her interview, she was like, and he kept looking back at me to make sure like I was still there and blah blah blah. And I was like, honey, like did you think he was just gonna get on and then say like bye,
Bye.
and then just
I
ride
was
around?
just kidding. That's what freaking our dad and Nessa did when we did the snowmobiling.
Yeah,
They left us. So
they freaking went off course.
they went off
Found
course
him later
and they had to get saved
by the instructor. That was so funny.
So it's a good thing Peter was
Relatable
looking back
moment.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after they did the ATVs, they went to go climb up a hill so that way they could see like the sunset, and like they were both dying going
They were
up
sweating.
the hill.
Peter
and, like,
was out of breath.
they
Kelsey
were both so
was
out
dying.
of breath. Like you could hear them into their mics like breathing so hard, and like they're trying to be cute, and he's like, I'm so happy like to be here with you, and I was like cracking up. I was like, that would so be me, and I would be
No,
pissed. I'm
and-
like,
Yeah.
you made me come on this damn hill. Like what the hell?
Peter was like, we're gonna run, let's run. And then Kelsey was like, we're gonna run?
That like truly
And
that
they
would
were-
have been me too.
They were
I'm
climbing
like,
up.
no, yeah, I'm like, well, you can run. I'm gonna meet you there. Like that
Dude,
was like
I
the
know.
time when for work I had to go climb Enchanted Hill and I almost died, or Enchanted Rock and I almost died. Like never again. But then
But I thought it was cute. It was a cute moment. Because
Yeah.
I think Kelsey, that's what I'm saying. Like, Kelsey, she is open to,
Yes.
like, that type of things. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't seem like running up that hill is her, like, everyday
definitely
activity.
not her
like,
cup of tea.
yeah, so But she did it,
Yeah.
and
And
she
like
didn't
without complaining.
she didn't complain. She was
Yeah.
just happy to be there with Peter.
Yeah, like
And
freaking Victoria F, who did the modeling one, like just be happy you're there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just be a
yeah,
part of it. And for the modeling one, she was like, oh my god, like I can't believe like we have to model. Like I'm just like so insecure, and like just like complaining the whole time. I'm like, dude,
yeah,
just be happy you're there. And like Kelsey like took it for what it was and made the most of it, you know?
mhm,
And so then they go to the nighttime date, and freaking Peter, like, sometimes he's good with his words, and sometimes he is not. And so he says, the date was so fun and, like, not serious and, like, not emotional. And, like, she's like, thanks, Peter. Like, because all the other dates, like, she's cried at and has been emotional. But, like, the girl's emotional. Like, let her be. That is
I
so
know.
rude.
But Peter be like so contradicting. Like,
I
excuse
know.
me, sir. Like, you love it when they cry. What are you talking about?
Truly. Like, literally, he was going to send Hannah Ann home, and she got up and just started crying. It was like...
He's like, okay, here's the rose.
Yeah. So, like, please. Oh, my gosh. I know. Same. And then, so then they actually do, like, get a little bit more emotional at the date, and she talks about saying, like, okay, well, like, you know, my hometown won't be as, like, typical as, like, maybe some of the other girls' hometowns. Like, I spent I spent 10 years of not knowing my dad and had no communication with him. And then he recently reached out, and we started having communication, and my mom doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of panicked because I was like, honey, like, your mom's
Your
going
mama
to
gonna
this.
see this.
Yes. Like, I really hope she told her mom before this aired. Because, like...
I'm sure she did.
Yeah, hopefully. Oh, so then Peter actually ended up telling Kelsey, like, that he has really strong feelings for her. And she gets the rose, and so she goes to hometowns. And so now that all that's left, so Natasha went home. Madison and Kelsey have roses for hometowns. And so there are 2 roses left, and we are getting a 3-on-1. I love a good 3-on-1 date. The last one we had was it Ari's season? Because I feel like we didn't get one in Colton's season.
Who was it on Ari's?
Kendall, Little Becca... And who was the third one?
Was it Lauren?
Was it Lauren? I'm not 100% sure who the third person was.
Because it was right before hometowns, I think. And I think Kendall had went home, and I think that's when also Becca went home.
Yeah.
And Lauren obviously went
onto the hometowns. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
mm-hmm.
I love 3-on-1s. I love the 2-on-1s. Like, they're just super dramatic. I love them. So we have Victoria Fake, Kelly, and Hannah Ann all going on the 3-on-1. Kelly and her they try to make Kelly seem like the villain this episode, which I was so upset at. I was like, no, like, you are not gonna do this to us again. Like, you freaking tried to make Alea the villain. Everyone believed she was the villain. I never did. I'm still Team Alea. They tried to make Tammy the villain. She was the villain. They tried to make, like, you know what I mean? Like, they tried to, like, just shove villains down our throats, like, every episode, and they tried to...
They edited a lot, like, the whole, like, previews and all her interviews, and when she was like, give me the rose, chop, chop, let's go. Like, over and over and over, and they made her seem so cocky, and then, like, you can tell it's a theme. Like, they do that, they build them up, but that's because they know they're gonna go home. Yeah. So when I had saw that, I was like, oh God, don't tell me.
I know.
And we called it. We were like, it's gonna be between Hannah Ann and Kelly, and one of them's gonna have to go home, and we really were rooting for Kelly.
Yeah. And but her commentary, I will give to her, was so freaking funny, and they tried to make it seem like she was like being like
a bitch.
Yeah, and like that I'm better than everyone, but like, I'm sorry, she is better than all of them there. And so
she said like Hannah Ann and Victoria F are in 2 different stages in life than me, and like I'm ready, and they're like these little girls. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what she said.
She says, like, Hannah Ann is 23, she's not in the right phase of her life, and Victoria breaks down and cries all the time. She's a hot mess. I'll be napping over here. See ya in a bit. She's over it. I loved it. She was like,
she's a queen.
No, I love her. We have no choice but to stan Kelly. Like, she is a lawyer. Mm-hmm. She knows what the F she's doing. And, like, she, first of all, is too good for Peter in general. Like, too good to be on The Bachelor. Like, any man that's on The Bachelor, like, too good for. Unless it was Peter Krause. And, yeah, I love her. I love her so much. And, like, unfortunately, she went home. And she deserves so much better. And so, at the 3-on-1, he pulls Hannah Ann to the side first. And right away, Hannah Ann freaking starts crying. And, I mean, they talk about, as soon as they start talking, as soon as they start talking, she's like, the thought that this could be, like, the last time we talk to each other, like, the last time I get to talk to you, like, scares me. I don't want to say goodbye. And, like, that's the name of the game. Like, what do you mean? Like, the time before this time could have been the last time you talked to him and you weren't crying and freaking out then. Like, it's such an act. It's such an act.
Yeah, I feel like it's a real manipulative play. Because she's like, oh my God, no, please. Yeah. Like, I don't. And like so a little kid trying to get her way.
And then she tells Peter, like, I'm a very cheesy person. Like, Bench, we know. And she wrote a letter saying all the reasons I'm starting to fall in love with you to Peter. And it looked like a 5-year-old wrote it. It was in pink pen, like squiggly lines, hearts over the eyes. Yeah, and I'm like, how old are you, really? Like, how old are you? And, like, freaking Peter loved that crap because he needs, like, he's like a girl. He needs so much validation from these girls. And so the fact, like, that was very smart on freaking Hannah Ann's part to write a note saying all the reasons why I'm starting to fall in love with you because, like, that's the kind of crap he likes. Like, he is, like, he needs them to be overbearing, over, like, the top. Dramatic. Tell me how much you love me. So that way, I feel like you're here for the right reasons and really here for me. And, like, it's not genuine.
I freaking feel like Hannah Ann is, like, stuck in 2010 or 2008. Like, just from, like, the way she dresses. Like, remember when she picked out her outfits?
Yes. She looked like she was she just from Limited 2. Yeah,
just got out of Limited 2, like, 6th grade. 2008, 2010, I don't know how old she is, but and she freaking still writes love notes, passes it to, tells someone next to her to pass it down to her crush.
I mean,
watches
she's only
them
23.
open it. I know, I'm shaking my head and, like, I'm 21.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. But, like, I mean,
but, like, I don't relate to that.
Yeah, I feel like you act more mature than that. Yeah, for sure. And, like, then, like, she comes back and she comes to sit with all the girls, and then it's Kelly's turn to go talk to Peter. And Kelly is, like, just, like, enjoying, like, life. Oh, and, like, meanwhile, the whole time, like, Kelly's, like, off by herself, like, just chilling on the couch waiting for Peter to come back. And Victoria F. is, like, off in a corner again, crying. And Peter comes up and he's like, are you by yourself? And she's like, yeah. He's like, where's Victoria? And she's like, I don't know. Like, she went on a walk somewhere. And he's like, oh, okay. And so then he pulls Kelly aside, and she's, like, being lighthearted. She's being fun. And she's like, a relationship could be easy and fun without, like, having to have all these hurdles and, like, be hard. Like, oh, yeah, so she's like, it can be fun. Like, a relationship doesn't have to have, like, freaking Victoria F. and have all these hard hurdles you have to get through. And, like, literally, like, you guys hardly know each other. Like, why does it have to be so hard so soon?
Exactly.
And, like, that's exactly what Kelly was saying. She's like, it should be fun right now. Like, it shouldn't be all of this drama at the beginning. And then he's like...
Peter's like, huh? What? What?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, and he was like, but, like, is it more than fun, though? Like, he hates the word fun. He's like, how dare you say that our relationship is fun? Like, I need crying. Why aren't you crying?
Yeah. Like, he literally doesn't understand.
Yeah. And then, yeah, like, he literally thinks, like, oh, like, they have to cry for them to have feelings for me. And so, like, that conversation went nowhere. And so she went to go back and sit down. And he went to go talk to Victoria, freaking fake. And, like, the nerve of this bench. The nerve of this bench. Like, truly, she literally sits down and just, like, straight up starts attacking him. And she's like, I guess if you want to like spend our time talking about how you're unsure about us, like, of course he wants to spend time talking of how unsure he is about y'all because, like, hello, like,
Like, what does she want him to just push it under the rug and then give her the rose?
exactly,
Like, yes, that's exactly what she wants him to do.
like he's
So
about to go meet your family. Like, why wouldn't he talk about something serious right now with you? Like,
she's so
all you've
backwards.
ever no, yeah, like all you've ever done is go run into a corner and
cry.
and like. And the last time they had a one-on-one, it was her second one-on-one after her first one got ruined at the chase because of Chase Rice and
Quote unquote ruined.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was all her freaking doing.
She made it a
the way
bigger deal.
Yeah.
And like then like the second one-on-one she got because the other one she spent the whole time crying and being like, like I don't know and like I'm just like so unsure. And then they have this date and then she's like, so you really just want to talk about how unsure you are? Like, of course he does. He's gonna meet your family. Like, he needs to decide if you're worth meeting your family.
Those are the steps
like,
you
oh
do.
my
Like, you
god.
talk about.
Yeah. And so then he goes to meet with all three of them and he's like, Victoria, like, can I talk, like, can you come take a walk with me? And so he grabs a rose and they go start to take a walk and he's taking her to a car and she's like, no, like I don't want to go home, like no, like please Peter, like don't like make me go home, like please Peter, like I don't want to go home, like begging him and crying. And I'm like,
holding his hand like
I'm
a
like,
3-year-old.
so now you want to be nice to him and not come attacking him, right? And so he gives her the freaking rose. So she gets a freaking hometown. And so, like we said, it came down to freaking Hannah Ann and Kelly. And he had two paths. He had the path of the 23-year-old who probably isn't ready for marriage, who is kind of too young for him, who is all over the place, who will say anything and do anything and cry all the time just to get Peter's attention. Or Kelly, the 27-year-old who is established, who is a lawyer, who knows what the F she wants, who doesn't put up with all this petty drama stuff, but that he's not sure if she's serious for him because she hasn't cried yet. And, of course, who does he pick? Hannah Ann. And so Kelly goes home. I'm so sad.
I don't remember if she says anything in the car, but I just remember she wasn't crying. Like, she was just over it, I think. She said she was in shock, but I think at that point she was just over it. Like, she was tired. Pretty sure she was saying in her head, Peter is trash. Like,
yeah. I mean, she
like,
is too good for him. Like, too good. Like, she deserves someone who, like, isn't into all the drama BS. And, like, there was so much drama BS on this show, like, from the very beginning with Hannah Brown. And, like, she was already over it then. Like, she's too good. She's too good for him. And, like, I love her so much. And, like, she deserves love with anyone but dumb Peter.
I don't think she's gonna... She's one of the girls I don't think is gonna...
Go to Paradise.
Go on... Yeah. Like,
she
doesn't seem like the type.
I would love for her to be Bachelorette, but I don't think she would be Bachelorette. I don't know.
I think maybe she will. I think that's a possibility. I feel like she might consider that because the ball will be in her court. Remember?
That's true. But, like, you know how those Bachelor producers are, the way they pick their people. They didn't pick Mike Johnson, who would have been a better Bachelor than freaking Peter. So, who knows who they're going to pick, you know? I mean...
That's true.
And, like, I don't think she would give us drama. I think she would be like, I'm not here for the drama. You go home, you go home, you go home. And you know
that's true.
And you know that's not what they want. You know, they want the drama. They want a Hannah B who keeps Luke P too far to keep the drama going. You know what I mean?
Because also, like, I feel like Becca's season, like, Becca was, very level-headed, knew what she wanted. But I feel like when you're the Bachelorette, I mean, obviously I don't know this, but it just seems like it's very hard to not, like, make a fool of yourself to where people won't take you seriously or to where people will judge you. And her reputation is probably, like, very greatly valued because of her career
job.
And job.
Yeah.
So
because if you even think back to, like...
She might not want to do that.
Yeah, if you even think back to, like, Becca's season, like, I'm not even going to lie, like, Becca's season was kind of boring.
It was a little bit, but I don't remember, like, all the drama, but I know at some point she, like, kind of,
honestly, the most drama was freaking Jordan with the gold undies and David, the one that fell off the bunk bed.
The bunk bed, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, it really wasn't even that much drama, but because, like, she had no time for it, she was like, okay, whatever, like, moving on. She already knew, like, literally from the first date that she was going to pick Garrett, and she gave him the first impression rose and ended up with him. Like, there, like, it wasn't a lot, which, like, I mean, I love a Bachelor or Bachelorette season where, like, they know what they want, like, they're really in it to look for love. And then versus Hannah season, where I was just so over it and so done with her picking Luke P after so many good guys that deserved so much better. And it ended up making her look like an idiot. Like, everyone was like, you kept Luke P for that long, and that's why you ended up with dummy Jed, and you still picked Jed over Peter and Tyler C.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, probably Kelly wouldn't want to risk that.
Yeah. But I think she would be too smart to let that happen, to let a Hannah B situation happen to her.
That's true. But don't you think it's kind of crazy, like, how often the Bachelor or Bachelorette that end up with their first impression rose?
It's crazy, right? A lot of the Bachelorette girls, I think it's like
Rachel,
Becca. A lot of the Bachelorette girls have ended up with their first impression rose guy, like, at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they may not have ended up marrying them or dating them, or like,
but
picking them as the winner. I think it's because, like, I mean, like, the girls know, like, you know what I mean, like, and like the boys, like, they just, like, feed too much into the drama. Like, they're not, like, they're just, like, so overwhelmed with so many, like, beautiful girls, and, like, they're just into the hype of it, and, like, the girls are like, no, like, I'm here for love, like, you know what I mean?
I feel like there could be a whole, like, psychology side of it, because first impressions, like, I don't know, like, what is that even really based off of? Like, is it just outlook attractiveness, or...
Yeah.
And if that's the case, like, I don't know, like, it just makes you wonder, like, is Peter gonna end up with Hannah? Because
that's true, she got the first impression rose.
She gave her the first impression rose, and I really wonder.
Did, for Colton season, did Cassie get the first impression rose?
I want to say so.
Right? I want to say so, too. I mean, or was it Hannah G?
Shoot. I am not sure.
Either way, they went pretty far, but I mean... But you could tell from the very beginning he was going to pick Cassie.
But I called it, yeah.
Yeah, like that
just
was the easiest
when Cassie when she got her, like, 15-minute, or not 15-minute, like...
Her, like, intro, right from her intro. Yeah, I was like, oh, she's the winner.
Like, oh, yeah, like,
yeah.
Colton's definitely going to pick her.
Yeah. Like, she was like, yeah. But I also want to say, like, women have really good, like, I mean, obviously Hannah B didn't have really good intuition, but, like, women have really good intuition, and I think a lot of women, like, a first impression is, like, really important to women. Like, right off the bat, like, if you are someone who, like, rubs me the wrong way right away, like, I'm like, okay, like, those are your true colors. That's who you are. Like, I don't.
You don't forget.
Yeah, and, like, I think with men, like, they are more like, oh damn, like, she's pretty. Like, I really like her. Like, you know. And then they finally start to see someone's true colors after giving them the first impression rose. You know what I mean? But I also think in Hannah B's instance, like, she was a lot younger than Becca and Rachel, and even Caitlin Bristow, she ended up with her first impression, but, like, they ended up breaking up their engagement, but she ended up with him and engaged, and they were engaged for 2 years, you know? And so, and she's older than Hannah, and, like, Hannah was a lot younger, and I think, like, when you're older, you know more of what you're looking for, and you can pick those things out in someone from a first impression. Like, you know the kind of questions to ask. You know how to get in depth off the first impression versus a guy that's like, so, like, what do you do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not who you pick your first impression off of. So,
I think also, like, girls are just more cautious and, like, hesitant than to, like, give boys the benefit of the doubt sometimes.
Yeah.
Rather, when it's reversed, guys are probably just like, oh, but she's so pretty, like, you know, like, maybe she's not always like this, and, like, referring to Victoria F. Yeah. Like, no, that's the only way I can make sense of this. Like, Peter is just like super into brunette and brown eyes, and is just like, but she's so pretty. Like, how can, maybe it's not always like this, or maybe after I meet her family, like, it'll be better.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right on target with that. Hannah Ann got the one-on-one, and so the hometowns are Madison, Victoria Fake, Kelsey, and Hannah Ann. Did I say that?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so now it's hometowns. Okay, so tonight is Fantasy Suites. So before tonight, he did his hometowns. He met the girls' parents, and we start out with Hannah Ann's hometown. She is from Tennessee, and so their daytime date.
She greets Hannah like, or no, he greets Hannah, coming out of the car, I guess. I don't know, but I wrote this down and let me know what you think about it. Hannah Ann hugs Peter and then she says, "I'm gonna make a man out of you."
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. She's like, my dad, he works in like lumber, and he's like a man, and so like I need my husband to be like a man, and like be like my dad. Like my dad's gonna want someone like that, and it's like, what makes Peter not a man? Like,
Yeah,
because he doesn't work in lumber.
Because he a
Yeah,
pilot
I don't know.
or what?
And like, yeah, and like that just like goes to show like how young and like naive and how she thinks, and like she sees like she still lives at home with her parents. Like she sees how her dad is. She's like, okay, look, he needs to be like my dad, so that way my dad can like him. And like that's not how it. Like, yeah, you want your dad to like him, but he doesn't need to be exactly like your dad.
I
like,
feel
that's
like
weird.
I feel like she lacks that individual thinking. Like she only believes in everything her parents says and follows everything that her parents tell her and how they think. And that's why when Peter and Hannah had one of those conversations past one-on-ones, Hannah was like, "You check off all the boxes that my parents told me that I should want," or something like that. And I was like,
yeah, like what are the boxes you have for yourself?
Yeah, like you're your own person. Like you don't have
like
to.
you're the one that's gonna date him and marry him and have
Not
to
your
live with him
parents.
and have kids with him. Not your parents. Yeah, like you need to have the boxes that you love about him, like not your parents.
And also when she said that, when she was like, "I'm gonna make a man out of you," I was like, "Let's get down to business."
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was like, are they about to break out into song? Is this a Mulan musical? I was like, is this about to be like a preview for the new Mulan movie coming out? Because it is coming out soon, and I want to see
so
it.
Excited.
And I thought,
I'm so freaking excited. I cried in the preview.
And like.
In the trailer.
And like ABC is Disney, Mulan is Disney, so I was like, oh, okay, like
Ultimate
we're gonna
crossover.
get like a Mulan. Yeah, I was like excited for it, and then it was not.
And Hannah was being 100%
so they went to
serious.
No, yeah, and then I was like, ooh, no. And so they went to go throw axes, which actually like looks really fun. I want to try it, but I'm so scared for the axe to like bounce off and come back at me.
Or like, you know, when you're playing Wii bowling and then you have to swing back
and then
before,
you accidentally
let go before you throw it. Yes.
Yeah, that scares me. And there was so many people there that were just standing around clapping and recording him. And like usually at these dates, like they kind of like Bachelor, ABC like shuts them down and it's just like them. Yeah, and like there was so many people there. I was like so confused, and I would not like that at all.
And like every time Peter like messed up, they were like, "Ah," or like, "Ooh." I was like annoyed. I was like, "All right, like I'm nervous already, and y'all here are not making it better. Like I've never gone to axe before. I'm a freaking pilot. Like leave me alone."
Yeah, I felt bad for him. And like that's so nerve-wracking in general, like to be on a one-on-one with someone who like you're trying to decide if they're gonna like you're gonna marry and or get engaged to, and then like on top of that, like have all of these people looking and staring
like, all
at
these
you,
random people.
Just leave them alone. Yeah, like from the city of from like where's she, Knoxville, Tennessee? Like go away. Like what are you doing? Oh yeah, and so
what did they do right after? They had a little moment, and that's when Peter returned the favor and made her a note, right?
Oh, yes, he did. He wrote her a note, and for all the reasons why that he's falling in love with her.
What do you think about that?
I think it was producer pushed. I feel like the producer's like, hey, like, why don't you write a note back to her? You know, like, I think they wanted to. I don't think it was sincere on his part, and
I
that
think
it was his idea.
yeah, I think the producers definitely had influence on that. But I
Yeah.
also think it was kind of cute. Just because Peter's was
Yeah,
actually
it was cute.
like with more thought in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
like hers was like, I love it when you like put food in my face and still kiss me with food on my face.
Like little girl type shit. Like,
That's not.
yeah.
Yeah, and like his was like, I love how much like you open up and I get to see the real you and like all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, like those are real reasons, not
Yes.
because he puts food on your
Yeah.
face. Like that's weird. Yeah, I liked it. It was cute. That's really like that was really it for their daytime date.
Yeah. They just like threw axes and then
And
had a
then-
chat and then they went straight to Hannah's, I think.
to Hannah's house, and it shows the parents like talking like about like Hannah coming with Peter, and like Hannah's dad is not excited
At all.
and he's like, I guess she had to bring Peter with her. That's new and exciting, I guess. Like he was more excited to see, like obviously he's more excited to see his daughter, but he was not excited that she was. Like, he was not excited that she wasn't coming home because she got eliminated off the show. Like, that's what he wanted. And, like, he was like, oh, like, she's coming home because she got this far and she's bringing a
And
guy
she's
home.
bringing
Like,
him home?
he was, yeah, like, he was like, oh, I thought she was home. Like, for good. She got kicked off. Like, no, like, he was not excited to meet Peter at all.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny.
He like didn't make a single like expression when he was just sitting in the lazy boy or the single seat chair with his leg crossed and just like looking at everyone. And by the way, I think he looks like or Hannah looked exactly like him, like the same eyebrows, same mouth, same smile. But yeah, and Hannah's the firstborn, so she's like,
Yes, I was also gonna mention that, like, she's like the oldest daughter, and so they're very like
protected.
the dad's
I
like
guess.
really like okay, well, yeah, protective, but at the same time, so she's only like what 23, and she's the oldest, and so like she really hasn't had that much like
Guidance.
yeah, like other than her parents, but her parents are kind of old, and she lives in like a like in a small town, and like her like even like when she goes to talk to her younger sister, like her younger sister is like, Hannah, like he wrote a note that says all the reasons why
Oh, I know.
he's in love with you. Like a boy just doesn't write all the reasons they're in love with you on a
Like,
note if they're not in love. I'm like, sweetheart, yes they do.
Like, that's not
this
the-
is a show.
That's not the end
it's
of the world.
produced.
Like how does that
like,
have so
that's
much
not the
value?
end all be all. Yeah. And like that, and that's her little like, and that's her younger sister like telling her that. She's like, oh my god, I know, right? And like that really just goes to show like how young she is, and like not
Not thinking
Just
clearly,
not, like,
not seeing through
Yeah.
anything. She's like clouded with
Yeah.
all, I don't know.
like the hype and the
Yeah.
the fan.
Because I feel like
she's
she's literally like just crushing on him and like all the butterflies and like kissing and she's like, oh my god, like she's like infatuated with him, and later in the date, like they freaking exchange I love yous like over and over and over.
Yes. Yeah, well, like, Peter tells Hannah Ann's mom, like, he wants to tell her he loves her. He hasn't had the opportunity to tell Hannah Ann that yet. And he also tells that to Hannah Ann's dad, and Hannah Ann's dad says, don't tell her you're falling in love with her
Yes.
if you're not 100% sure.
He literally says,
And, like,
do not
I
say
think-
that to my daughter. And Peter's like, all right, I hear you on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and then he goes to tell Hannah Ann, I'm 100% sure I am falling in love with you. And then Hannah Ann says, I am in love with you. And so, like, the way, like, The Bachelor works is, like, they say, like, hey, I'm starting to fall in love with you, but that really holds no weight.
Yeah.
Because they say it as, like, an out of, like, hey, I have strong feelings for you, stronger than what, like, just liking you, but I don't love you. I'm not in love with you yet. It doesn't mean the same thing. But on the outside world, like, to the rest of the universe, when you are dating someone and you're starting to fall for each other, like, someone telling you, I'm starting to fall in love with you, it really means they're falling in love with you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And in Bachelor World, it doesn't mean that. And Hannah Ann doesn't realize that, but her dad realized that. Her dad realizes that, and her dad is saying, like, hey, don't say that to her because it doesn't mean the same thing. Like, she's going to take it as if you are 100% in love with her. You're telling her you are in love with her and you're picking her at the end of it, and not, hey, I'm starting to fall in love with you. You could eventually be the one I pick.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he was meaning by that.
Yeah.
And then Peter is like, no, like, I am falling in love with her, but I'm not picking her. And so he tells her, I'm falling in love with you. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. I just can't believe she freaking said, like, I am in love with you. I am in love with you. Like, and how does she know when it's only been a few weeks? Like, excuse me? You said you didn't love your boyfriend of 3.5 years, and, like, now you're so sure? Like...
Yes. And then, like, on the way out when he was leaving, they're kissing each other, and she's like, I love you, I love you, I love you. And he's like, say it again. And I was, like, literally ill.
Yeah.
I wanted to vomit.
I was like, what the hell? Like... It just seemed so gross.
And he didn't say it back. He's not like, I love you too, but he's like, I'm starting to fall in love with you. And, like, she's like, I love you, I love you. He's like, say it again. And I'm like, ew, Peter. Like, first of all. Second of all, like, he loves that. He thrives on, like, girls just, like, his love language is words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. Like, he loves that crap. Like, he's like, say it again. Or, like, when the girls are like, I'm so starting to fall in love with you, like, he's like, or a girl starts crying, she's like, it's just because I feel so strongly for you. Like, he's like, oh, okay, so you do like me, you really are in love with me. And Kelly and Natasha, on the other hand, are like well-grounded women who don't need to give you words of affirmation for them to know, like, they are starting to have feelings for you. They're like, hey, like, I really am in this. And he's like, I'm not sure, you haven't cried and told me, like, how much you love me yet. Like, you know, and, like, his love language is words of affirmation, and it was, like, really gross the way he was, like, saying it again. And
like a ew. What's that movie? That's Sparks. What's his name? The author. Sparks.
Oh, Nicholas Sparks.
Yeah, like
Nicholas
like
Sparks,
literally
the
any kind, like a Nicholas Sparks novel. Like, that's what I thought of.
Yeah. Mhm.
So that was
that home
yeah,
date.
that was the end of that, and then after that, it starts with Kelsey, right?
Yes. We go to Iowa. Their date was cute. I liked their date. They stomped grapes to make their own wine.
Wait, hold
on.
Okay. How does that work? Like, were you thinking when I would, like, putting your bare feet in the grapes? Like, does your
First of all, it didn't show them washing their feet.
No, it didn't.
Before they put their feet in. They literally showed them taking off their shoes and their socks and just putting their feet straight in.
So,
And
like...
I am not a foot person. I hate feet. And I was, like, gagging as I was watching. I was like, that is so gross. I was like, oh, but it's so cute. But I was like, but that's so gross. But I was like, oh, but it's so cute.
The whole time I was thinking, I was like, wait, so they're going to drink that? Like, does your feet sweat go into the juice? Like, are they drinking their feet juice,
Gross.
like, along with the... You know?
Also, like, I saw nowhere where the juice was going. So I want to say it was, like, a fake activity that they did. They just got a barrel of grapes and made them, like, squish them.
Fake.
And then,
it's
like, the wines they were drinking... Yeah, the wines they were drinking wasn't the wine that they had just squished. Like, the grapes they had just squished.
I'm praying.
Because, like, it doesn't happen that fast. Like, you just squish grapes and then it's wine.
Right, because it's grape juice.
Yeah,
right?
So I was like, that's real. That's not real. It's
any wine connoisseurs out there, please, like, enlighten us. I'm genuinely concerned.
Funwig, you're obsessed. Ashley Funwig, you're obsessed with wine. I know you know. Let me know, girl.
Let us know.
Let me know. No, yeah, I'm, like, almost, like, 100% certain, like, that was not what they were drinking.
I literally hope so, yeah. But anyway, so what do you think of Kelsey's family? Like, overall, what do you have to think?
Oh, yeah. I liked them. I liked her sisters. Like, they're all just, like, a girl gang. You remind me of, like, me and you and Nessa and, like, well, Johnny's not a girl, but, like...
He's our sister.
You know. And... He's our sister. But, like, yeah, I thought it was really cute. I thought her stepdad was very understanding, very, like, level-headed, like, a really good father figure in her life.
I really appreciated their moment. Like, they seemed...
Their moment,
they seemed close.
He was, like...
They seemed, like, to understand each other. And he was very supportive, like, 100%.
Very, yes, yeah, because he was, like... like, how do you feel? She's like, I'm falling in love. And he's like, and what happens? Like, there's a good chance that he won't pick you. She's like, well, then we're just going to have to pick up the pieces. And he's like, yep, and we're all going to be here for you, and we love you. And I thought that was so beautiful, so great. Like, I love that for her. Like, she's so...
It literally, like, was touching. Like, and also when her mom was talking, I think, no, to Kelsey. She was talking to Kelsey. She was like, I just don't want to see you get hurt. Like, it's a different kind of pain, like, to see your babies in pain. And I was like, wow, like, they actually are all, like, 100% there for her. And they all, like, it seems like a mentally and emotionally healthy household. Like, they do not repress emotions. They are there to talk. They are there to talk about everything. They're not there to repress anything, and I feel like
yeah,
that's
and, like,
really
they don't
good.
judge her.
Yeah, they don't judge
Yeah,
her.
like, I felt like no judgment from her or her, like, or her family or her stepdad or anything, like, about, like, I mean, because, like, honestly, like, had it been me, like, I would have been super, like, I'm going on a show to, like, potentially meet someone, like, that I'm hopefully get engaged to, and he's still dating other girls. Like, I would be super, like, kind of embarrassed and kind of, like, really hesitant to, like, bring him to meet our family, and I'd be like, yeah, I know, it's weird, it's not conventional, it's, like, super awkward, I'm gonna be on television, like, you know? And, like, so many families, when you bring them to hometowns, they judge, and they judge hard, and they're like, this is the guy, like, you want to date, and he's dating other girls, and he's making out with them, like, you know?
Yeah.
And there was no judgment from them and her decision to do this and try and make it work. And she was honest. She's like, hey, like, our relationship, it hasn't been easy. We've gone through it. We've had deep emotional talks, and, like, I'm really into it. And, like, they were so 100% on board, 100% supportive. They're like, hey, if this is the guy for you and you make it there, like, we're gonna be there for you at the wedding, and if it doesn't work out, we're still gonna be there for you to help you pick up the pieces. And I really like that. And I thought it was funny that her mom was like, you better not break her heart, and, like, all this stuff to Peter.
That was, like, a little bit scary. I felt like it was kind of like the let me speak to your manager,
threatening.
like
Yeah.
She's like, don't break my daughter's heart, okay?
Yeah, but I liked it though. It was funny. And so she tells Peter that she is falling in love with him, or she is in love with him, and then Peter says, my heart has definitely fallen. And that's when I kind of knew, like, I was like, oh,
That's
like, he didn't
different.
say, I'm falling in love with you too. Yeah, it's definitely different. Which, like, before she was one of the first girls that he was like, I have such strong feelings for you. Like, this is real. Like, you know what I mean? And then I guess as it got, like, cut down to, like, more real relationships that he's having with Hannah Ann and Madison, he's seeing Kelsey and he's like, maybe it's not as strong. Versus, like, Kelsey in an environment of 12 girls, yeah, his feelings for her are super strong. But then Kelsey in an environment of only 3 other girls, he's like,
Yeah.
But that was that. And then we have the third hometown, and that is Madison at Auburn, Alabama. And he looked the most happy when he saw Madison.
He did,
compared
honestly.
to all the other
He,
girls
like,
that he
lit
saw.
up.
Like, yes, absolutely, 100%. And so the thing about Madison is also really young. Hannah Ann's 23, Madison is 24. She is more mature than Hannah Ann, that's for sure. You know, and Hannah Ann is a model. Like, no offense to models out there, but it's not a stable career or job. You know?
Like, she's not like a supermodel.
Like,
she's just like I don't know. Like, literally, when was the last work she has? Like, the only literal picture of her modeling I seen was the Sonic one.
yeah, and the one of her in the Amazon, the Spanx one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like, Madison is a foster care recruiter. She works with foster kids. Like, that is, like, a real job career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but on the other hand, she has been very, what's the word?
Enclosed, like secluded.
Yes, in her small hometown of Auburn, Alabama, where all she's ever known is she lives at home, which is down the street from the university, and then she lived on campus at the university all 4 years, and where she played basketball was down, like, she would walk to the basketball arena and she would walk to the football stadium, and that's all she's ever known.
Mm-hmm.
And her family is so tight and close, and her dad is the basketball coach of the school that she went to and she graduated from, and they're all very religious, and they've, like, the head basketball coach above her dad has known her for so many years, and she respects it. So, like, her world is very small. She lives in a very small bubble. Like, going on The Bachelor is probably the biggest
change
thing that has happened to her, you know? And so that's also why I feel like she's not ready for marriage. Like, she's not ready to go to that next level, because, like, it's a world that it's the only world she's ever known. And, like, from this she's gonna have a lot of followers. Like, she will probably end up getting, like, a lot of sponsorships, become a Revolve girl, can revolve around the world. But, like, I feel like she's gonna want that more than, like, being settled down in a you know, like, she needs to grow and travel the world and be her own person and live on her own and not live in a small town, you know, and move to LA and have those experiences.
But also, like, maybe she just doesn't want that. Like, maybe she does want to just stay in her bubble, you know? Because if it's all she's ever known, then maybe she's not looking for change. But also, if Peter ends up picking Madison, I doubt Peter's gonna want to move to her hometown, and Peter's gonna ask Maddie to move. And then that's gonna be a huge culture shock and a huge, big change for her, because, like you said, that little bubble is all she's ever known, and she would have to do a lot of big life adjustments. And also, considering how close-knit she is with her family, like, I feel like it would be a stressful, like, big change that will have a big impact on their relationship, and a negative one at that.
Yeah. No, 100%. And, like, that's why I'm, like, really concerned about, like, her small town life, and, like, then her wanting to, like, go on to The Bachelor and then, like, potentially marry him and start a life with, and, like...
Yeah, because, like, usually with small town, like, living, I guess, like, you're born here, you grow up here, you get married here, and then you live here. Like...
And then you have your own family there.
And it doesn't really change. Like... I'm assuming she...
And, like, that's not, like, that's not true for everyone, but, like, for someone who...
Because I'm assuming she was born there, grew up there, went to college there. Because that's what it looks like, with her dad's job.
Their hometown... I mean, their day, the morning part of the day, or the day part of the day, so she played basketball for Auburn for the women's basketball team. Like, I knew she was good at basketball, but I just assumed because... her dad was a basketball coach, and she probably played when she was little, but I didn't know she was on the actual university team.
Yeah, like I had no idea she was really good. Like, I did not expect that.
And the women's Auburn, when she was on the team, went to the Final Four twice, which is a huge deal, like a huge deal. And so I was like, OMG, like, she is so good. And I loved that Charles Barkley left a message, because Charles Barkley, that's where he went to college, and that's where he played college basketball. He left a message for Peter, and was like, Peter, you better not break her heart, blah, 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 which I loved. And then the head coach, because her dad is the assistant coach for the men's basketball team, the head coach, who's someone she's known, like, her whole life, came out and, like, did these drills with them, and they played one-on-one, and I thought it was just, like, super cute. I thought it was, like, a super, like, dope date. Like, that's the kind of date I would want to do, you know?
It was cute.
Even though, like, I suck at basketball.
But, like literally,
so
did Peter.
Like,
so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, like, that's the date that I would want. Like, probably not Auburn, but, like, if it was, like, to go, like, play with the Spurs, like, I would like that. So, like, just for future reference. Not that I'm going on The Bachelor, but...
You know who?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding. Anyways, and so, then they have the nighttime date. They go to meet her family. And, her family, they're super nice, they're super cute, super sweet. Her dad is super young looking. Did you see all the memes? They were like, oh my god, is that her dad, or is that her brother, or is that Peter?
He literally looks like a college kid. Like, I was very confused and concerned and a little disturbed with that.
Yeah, they look the same age.
Yeah, and also, I feel like Maddie doesn't really look anything like him. But
I thought their little tradition was cute though, about like you get the special plate and everyone around the table has to say like something
yeah, that
nice
was
about
cute.
them.
But also, did you see the plate? It looked like it was just meat.
No, I think it was like the plate itself.
But like, okay, I was confused because it literally looked like she was served just 4 bites of meat. And I was like, that's
well,
the
they don't
special
really
plate.
eat.
No, yeah, you're
They
right.
don't
They
really eat
literally
on these
don't.
days.
They just
No.
do a toast and then talk.
Yeah, but no, but I think it was like everyone else had like a red plate and she had like a
Oh,
white
I
plate.
see.
Yeah. So her family keeps talking to her and telling her like, so have you told him about the decisions that you've made for yourself and all of these things? And they're talking about her saving herself for marriage, and she goes the whole hometown not saying anything to him about saving herself for marriage.
But what do you think about that? Like,
because-
what do you think about, like, the whole family's input on that, I guess?
I am weird about that because like that's like none of her parents' business, and like they were very like I feel like they were very like over the top. Like, well, what about like the decisions that you've made for yourself? Like, okay, like relax. Like, obviously, like they don't want like all of America to see and feel like, oh, we've put this on our daughter, like because this is how we grew up. Like she has to live in a household where she saves herself for marriage, and they're like, what about the decisions that you've made for yourself, like all on your own? Like, you made these decisions,
Right,
and you know
yeah.
what I mean? And we're like, okay, like we get it, like you know what I mean? Like it was just a little like,
aggressive.
but also, yeah, but like also like that's none of like her parents' business. Like, let her decide how she wants to tell Peter. Like if she hasn't told Peter yet, like that's on her thing.
Yeah,
Like that's
I
not
think
like for
I
any
think
of you guys
I
to
think
like.
it has to be like a trust thing, you know, because she's an adult,
Yeah.
and like if they don't trust her faith or they don't trust like her decisions, like I don't know, that's just a little bit bothersome and concerning. But also, what I thought was strange. Okay, like so, tell me what you think about this. Like, obviously, Maddie watches The Bachelor. Obviously, she didn't just sign up not knowing anything about it. So I'm assuming she watched Hannah Brown's season, and maybe her parents did too, or maybe her family, extended relatives do as well. But considering how protective or like involved her parents are in Maddie's life, like how would they be okay
With her
with
going
going on Peter's season? Because if they watched The Bachelor or if they watched Hannah Brown's season, like what was Peter known for, basically?
Effing in the windmill for 4
the
times.
windmill,
Yeah.
the windmill. And so, considering all that, like it doesn't really make sense to me.
You would have thought she would have gone on Colton's
Maddie's
season.
Yeah, she would have gone on Colton's season, or she would have not waited till the freaking third to last episode to wait and tell Peter all of this stuff, like about like her life and her religion and basically part of who she is. And you know, like I don't know, I feel like her parents, if I'm assuming they just didn't know, because like I feel like her parents wouldn't let her go on this season for Peter, because he freaking,
I mean,
you know what he's known for.
yeah, especially that. But also, like, it also depends because, like, I know there have been seasons where, like, Nick Viall's season, even though they made it, he had, in his fantasy suites, he had Rachel, Corinne, and Vanessa. No, not Corinne. I'm sorry. Rachel,
No.
Raven, and Vanessa. And he has come out and, like, said himself, like, I knew even then, like, even before then, I always knew that it was going to end up being Vanessa. And, like, when I took those 3 girls to the fantasy suites, I didn't do anything with the other 2 girls because I didn't want it to be something, after I knew I was picking Vanessa, that it was going to be something we would have to, like, get through. Like, oh, you hooked up with those other 2 girls, like, you know what I mean? And so he made that decision, like, I'm only going to be with Vanessa. I don't need to be with Raven or Rachel to know that I want to be with Vanessa. So all he did with Raven and Rachel was like just talk the whole night, you know what I mean? And like they didn't do anything,
Mm-hmm.
and that's because the producers even made it seem like, because Raven said she had never had an orgasm before, and they made that whole clip of her like the next day like running through the snow and like as if she had like the best night of her life, and like they totally set it up to be like all weird like that after the next day, and they never even did anything. And so I think it also just like depends on like the guy, because like Nick was also known for when he, I don't know if it was on Andy's season or on Caitlin's season, that he hooked up. I think it was Caitlin's season. He hooked up, like they had sex before Fantasy Suites even happened. Like that was the big drama on that. Like he went to her hotel room. They were like kind of like a Kelsey thing, went to go talk to her, and then they hooked up that night. And so like that was like a big drama on that season. So like it's not like he wasn't like he was like a prude and everyone was like, oh, he just didn't want to have sex. Like he was known for having sex when it wasn't time for the Fantasy Suites, and he still made that decision. So I think it also could be like, just because Peter did that with Hannah, like, doesn't mean, like, he would have done it with all three. He's going to do it with all three girls tonight, you know? Even if...
But what I'm saying, like, it's almost like a double standard type thing, and that really pisses me off because, like, Maddie seems to be perfectly fine with knowing that, like, he's having sex before marriage, and the parents are chill with that too, assuming that they know, but they're, like, so adamant about Madison making sure that Peter knows this. And then there's nothing to talk about Peter.
Yeah.
Like there's no like, and that's because Peter also said like, oh, I can be a little stronger in my faith and you inspire me, but there's nothing like talking about like, okay, well I mean, I guess like in the previews it does show that how Maddie puts an ultimatum on him.
Yeah, and so
I guess that's true.
Maddie never ends up telling Peter like that she's saving herself for marriage. And then she says that she doesn't know if she's ready to tell Peter that she's falling in love with him, that she is really confused, and that's where it's left at. And then we get to go to the fourth hometown, Victoria Fake, from Virginia Beach. And
oh my God, yes, that's where they meet. That's where they meet. They meet on the beach, and then she brings her dog.
And she lets go of her freaking dog at the beach to hug Peter, and the dog runs off. And the whole time they're kissing. And then they stop kissing, and she's like, "Where's the dog?" And then the camera pans to the dog in like the middle of the ocean.
He literally like yeets and zooms off
so fast.
Right after Victoria lets him go. He's like, "Hell yeah, I'm out this beach," and then he is so happy to be at a freaking Victoria Fake site and
just, like,
runs to
in
the ocean.
Water. It's so funny. And then they go take these old time photos.
With the dog.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird, like, I wouldn't do that. Like, I don't know.
But also, like, if we had our hometown in, like, the valley, like, I wouldn't know. I would want to go to South Padre Island. Like, that would be, like, the hometown. Like, because where else would we go,
honestly,
like, downtown?
Honestly, I would go to, like, I wouldn't just stay in McAllen. Yeah. Like, I would go, like, Harlingen or, like, far. Like, there's a vintage shop I want to go to. There's, like... Basically, all you can do is just shop and eat.
Yeah.
And I would literally maximize that to the max.
Yeah.
Like,
I think if I was in San Antonio, it'd be like Fiesta, Texas, or a Spurs game. Well, I don't know if we could do a Spurs game.
And those seem like really fun.
I would hopefully maybe the Spurs would let me go like have like a basketball like Maddie's Day, but at the Spurs court, you know. Or,
and with a Spurs player.
Yeah, like you know, like Tim Duncan, like if you're gonna come through, like that'd be cool, like.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't do any interviews and he like never talks or anything like that or has no social media. But like if you want to be on The Bachelor. But yeah, and so but after that she takes him to like some like little boardwalk place and
what's that guy's name?
Hunter Hayes. How does she get all these big time country singers? Like why only her dates get the good country singers? Like,
are you referring to Chase Rice?
Chase Rice is actually a pretty good country singer, and like
he's big.
Yeah,
he's like known.
Yeah, he's like a pretty well known artist. Like he's up and coming, but like he's pretty well known.
Mm-hmm. I literally like after I heard the music and the country beat, and I was like, oh my God, imagine.
No, I wrote that.
Chase
I literally
Rice.
wrote that down. I put if I were Peter, I would have been like, LOL, you date him too.
Oh my God, she's like, don't worry, Peter, I only dated him for 5 months.
Yeah, no, really. But like also like, but how did she end up the one with like both the country singers? Is what I want to know. Like, how did she get Hunter Hayes? Like, Hunter Hayes is a big country star, and like I like that song.
And also like, speaking about the song, like that's not like his most recent. Like he has different songs.
I saw that meme on
like
freaking
like.
I saw the meme on Twitter where it's like Hunter Hayes. Oh well, I have a new song coming out. Can I play that? And it's like producers. No, play the one about being crazy. And like it was so funny.
No, for real, like I don't want easy, I want crazy.
That's literally
that really says something. That really says something, I think.
Truly.
Like,
and she knew every word,
and, then,
and she was like, "I love this song." I'm like, "Honey, we know that's your life. That is your life."
She's like, "This is my fucking anthem."
She's like, "This is my jam. I sing it every day." We're like, "Honey, we know." Like you, like on MySpace when you would pick like your song for your profile,
yes.
that would have been hers because that is her.
It's just so ironic and hilarious.
So
I literally loved that.
And then
again we see that Peter can't dance.
Again.
But
and so they ended up like leaving. They're gonna go off to go get ready for meeting her family. And as he's walking out, someone calls him and is like, "Peter," and he turns around and he's like, "Oh my God, hey!" And so it's this girl Marissa that he apparently dated years ago, and like
2012.
Yeah. And at first, I was like, who the hell is this girl? Who is Marissa? How do we know her?
Her face was blurred. Yeah. And also, did they distort her voice?
Oh, I don't think they distorted her voice, but I just don't think...
Because it sounded, like, pretty low.
I just don't think they had a mic on her ready to go.
I don't know. Like, her voice sounded, like, deep is what I mean. Like,
maybe she just has a deep voice.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, but at first they never disclosed who she was. Like, he never said he dated her until later on when he brought it up to Victoria F. But, yeah, so she tells Peter, he's like, "Oh, like, I forgot you're from here." And she's like, "Yeah, like, I moved back, like, a couple years ago." And he's like, "Oh my God, that's so crazy." And then she's like, "Hey, so, like, that girl that you are with, like, just, like, be careful with her." And he's like, "You know Victoria?" And then she's like, "Yeah. I actually used to be really good friends with her. We stopped being friends a couple months ago. There's been, like, a lot of, like, relationships that have broken up because of her, and I don't think this is, like, a good relationship to be in because, like, I know who you are, and I know the kind of person you are, and I just, like, don't think this is, like, the right move for you." And so, goddamn, what a bomb to be dropped right before he's about to meet her parents. But then, like, hello, like, red flag after red flag after red flag. Peter, don't know your middle name, Weber. Like, what
Peter
are you doing?
Peter appears to be red-green colorblind because he is not seeing these red flags. No shade, Val, no shade.
Well, I'm like a green-blue colorblind, but it's fine. I can see red.
I'm serious.
I can see red.
Obviously, Peter can't, and good thing he ain't a freaking taxi
He's
driver,
a pilot. He can't be colorblind.
I think it's like orange. You know, like the lights are like orange.
Maybe.
I mean, I there's no traffic lights.
That's
He's
true.
fine. No traffic lights.
But you do have to have like perfect vision when you're a pilot. You have to be 20/20. Right?
I mean, he's not literally colorblind.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just saying.
This is still a metaphor.
I know, but I'm just saying. Okay, anyways. I'm all getting super serious. I'm like,
I know. You're like, wait, no, but you have.
Okay, but anyways. So, like, dude, honestly, damn, they can have one good date. Like, they cannot have one good date. Like,
this whole season, not one.
Not one. Not even on the group dates she's on are they good.
Mm-mm.
Like, she can't have one. And, like, that just goes to show. And so they go to meet her parents, and they're at the front steps of her house.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter tells Victoria about what Marissa told him before they go inside. And right away, this bitch has, again, some freaking nerve. Because she just goes off on, like, for someone who's so shy and insecure and intimidated, has no problem cursing people out.
Yeah. And
like,
being, like, straight up rude.
And literally a straight up bench. And, like, literally, like, gaslighting him and making him think, like, he's crazy. We're just trying to have a conversation with her. Like, literally, like, that's a manipulative person who gaslights you. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, you really think, like, you know, like, making you feel stupid and dumb for even telling you how you feel.
For just expressing a concern.
Yeah. And so she says, like, that's not true, and gets mad at Peter for being confused about what Marissa told him. And, like Victoria F., like, maybe if you were, like, a good person, people wouldn't have a bunch of shit to say about you all the time. Like, all of these red flags and, like, people talking all this crap about you wouldn't happen.
And if even you had, then, like, she didn't even, like, say, like, okay, well, there was this one time, but, like, and this is what happened. Like, literally, all he was asking for was an explanation. And she was like, how dare you come here and say this right before you're gonna meet my family? Like, how dare you do this to me?
She could have even just denied everything. Would be like, dude, like, no, like, that's not true. Like, honestly, like, that hurts my feelings that, like,
yeah,
like, you know, like, I would never do something like that. Like, I've always been honest with you, and, like, I just really hope you can believe me. No.
I was just, like, so triggered, too, by the way she was talking to him.
Same.
She was like, really, Peter? Really? That's funny. And, like, not letting him finish his freaking thought. And, anything Peter was saying, she was like, oh, that's funny. Like, oh, really, Peter?
No,
and
but she also does this thing where, like, even when he's just talking to her, like, in general, just talking about normal things, she's like, yeah, yeah, no, yeah, like, totally, like, I get it, like, yeah, no, yeah, and, like, he's just like, yeah, so, like, my favorite color is blue. She's like, yeah, yeah, I get it.
But, like, it's, like, not
condescending.
Even,
like,
yeah, it's, like, with an attitude.
Yeah, I do that with you, like, because I'm a girl. I'm like, dude, yeah, like, totally. And she's like, yeah, totally. Like,
yeah, but it's different. It's like as if she's trying to, like, I don't even know what she's trying to do. Like, she's just in a pissed off mood.
All the time.
All the time. And it's, I don't know. She totally lacks crucial, basic communication skills.
Like, oh my God, twin.
Yeah, like, she literally needs to go back to 5th grade.
No, yeah, and, like, once again, like, she's so annoying. Peter's literally trying to talk it out with her, and she's getting so mad at him for just talking, and she's being, like, a freaking bitch, like, so aggressive and so pissy and so defensive. And he's like, I'm just asking for the truth. And she's like, well, it doesn't matter anymore, Peter. It doesn't matter. And, like,
literally, what's the logic behind that? Like, what does that even mean? It doesn't matter anymore. Like, what are you saying? Like, why doesn't it matter anymore?
If what Marissa was saying wasn't true, like, she should have just been like, well, that's not true. Like, I am not, like, that's not true. And, like, instead she's being so defensive about it. And, like, that someone who's, like, telling the truth doesn't act like that when someone confronts them about something. You know what I mean? Like, they have nothing to hide. They have nothing to be, like, so defensive about, like, be so aggressive. They're just like, no, that never happened. Like, you know what I mean? And,
like, they understand the
concern.
The concern, like, the expressive concern. Like, it's not like they don't get angry.
Yeah, and I think she's just, like, pissed because she got caught and she doesn't know how to act.
And then, she gets caught. She doesn't know how to take responsibility for her actions. And so what does she do? She gets mad, but then that doesn't work, so then she cries.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
She acts like a 5-year-old. And, like, my freaking psychoanalysis on this is she grew up doing that. And then she has always gotten her way doing that. And now she's a 20-something-year-old, 26-year-old insecure little bitch and doesn't know how to be an adult and doesn't know how to take responsibility, doesn't know how to have a freaking
clear, concise conversation. Yeah. Yeah. And, like, literally, like, and then she turns it around on Peter, and she's like, you literally came in here just to act like that? Are you kidding me? And Peter's, like, literally
thrown hands.
Peter's, like, literally taken aback, and he's like, excuse me? She's like, excuse you what, Peter? Excuse you what? Like, that's how she talks.
Oh my God.
Like,
I would have freaking...
And I'm like, the nerve of this effing girl. Like, I swear to everyone.
First she's shy, first she's insecure, and then she thinks she's a boss-ass bitch when she's not even making sense.
Yeah.
Like...
No, yeah, and then she's like, I have nothing to say to you right now. Like, I have nothing to say to you. And Peter's like, do you ever fight for anything you want? Because I haven't felt you really fight for this. And she's like, really? You haven't? Really, Peter? You haven't felt that? Really? And I'm like...
And she's like, that's funny. Like,
yeah, and I'm like, you are the most childish person of all time.
The thickest skull. Like, the thickest skull probably any freaking doctor has seen because... Because Peter was like, you walking away the first day, how about you walking away the second day, going and walking away from us talking? And she's like, no,
I don't
no.
agree. I don't
No,
agree. I
that's
don't
that.
agree.
No. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you not agreeing
I'm
with?
like,
That's
literally
literally
what
a
happened.
fact. Like,
Run it back. Run the tapes. We
like
all saw
yes.
it. Like, what do you mean? Are you
Like,
delusional? That's
are you?
literally.
Do you have amnesia? Are you
No,
delusional?
truly.
Are you mentally stupid?
That's literally that episode of Jersey Shore when
Yes,
freaking
Ron.
Ronnie brings the girl into the bathroom and closes, the door
closes the
behind
door.
him. And then they're like, you close the door behind you. She's like, that never happened. I never closed the door. And then the footage rolls of him closing the door.
Yes.
And he's like, no, that
looking
never
at the camera,
happened.
closing the door,
No,
and it's
yeah.
like,
And then he's talking to the boys. He's like, no, that never happened. We didn't even go in the bathroom. Like, what are you talking about? And then it rolls the footage again. And I'm like
why they should have they the producers could have had that opportunity to
no, yeah, they really
freaking
missed that
frame
opportunity.
Victoria. Yes.
But, like, literally, like, what kind of delusional person believes their lies, like, to that point where they, like, actually are like, no, that didn't happen. I'm like, and that must, like, Peter is so patient because that would have frustrated the crap out of me. I would have been like,
Yeah.
are you crazy? Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you freaking mean?
I
like,
know,
you don't
I
agree?
know.
There's nothing to agree on. It is fact. It is
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. And then she just gets up and walks away and it's like, I'm so done with this conversation. Like, I am so, just like, I'm done. And then screams at the poor cameraman, like, get the F away from me right now. And,
She had like a Colton moment. She was just like wandering in the streets, like walking
yeah.
away. And I was like, literally,
like,
where are you going? Your house is back there.
literally be a effing grown adult. Nothing was resolved. They didn't get to the bottom of the accusations. And why would that girl lie about that? Like, if it wasn't true. Like, what, like, what does she have to gain? Like, nothing. Like, her and Peter broke up, like, 5,000 years ago. Like, there's nothing there for that girl. Like, they blurred her face because she didn't want to be, like, outed.
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, And so then, that's the end of that. He goes back. He doesn't meet her family. And then her family comes out. I did feel for her family. Like, her family came out and was hugging her, and she was crying really hard. And they're like, we love you, blah, blah, blah. And, like, that was really sweet of her family. But also,
it's like, I don't like you guys either because you guys are the result. I mean, she is the result of, like, this shit. Like, I don't understand.
but also she looks nothing like her family.
Oh, yeah. I agree, too. Like, when they were showing the family waiting inside.
Yeah, like the mom and the dad and the brother and the sister.
Yeah, they're, like, blonde, blue eyes and, like, heavier set. And
yeah, and she's, like, super skinny, dark complected, brown hair,
big eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
Brown hair. Kind of weird, right? I was talking to mom about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah. She burned all the bridges with her family and had to hire new ones." And I was like, "You're probably right."
They could have done better at hiring ones that look like her. Okay, so yeah, so then the next day she comes to his hotel room, and like it's like as if nothing happened, and she's like completely.
Psycho.
She's all better the next day. She can actually have a concise conversation.
But like, okay, go ahead.
He's like, I feel like we have no communication, like, because you don't have communication, because you are an actual literal child who doesn't know how to communicate anything of substance.
Like, he should have said that to her.
No, truly.
And then, like, but even then, like, that conversation, she didn't, like, bring up the conversation before. Like, it still was left unsettled, and all she literally she thought she was doing the biggest move, and all she did was say, like, well, the ball is in your court, your court, Peter. And like, so literally you're still not doing anything. Like, but you're also you're putting him in the predicament and making him feel like, oh, like, okay, this is my fault, like, you know.
But also, the ball has always been in his court. He's the one that gives out the roses. He makes the decision.
Oh my god, you're totally right. She's such a freaking, I don't
dummy.
Even know. She's
and then
an
he's
idiot.
like, well, I don't want to make any decisions till tonight. And she's like, thank you so much. Like, get out of here. And so, rose ceremony happens. He gives the first rose to Hannah Ann. He gives the second rose to Madison. And it comes down to Kelsey and Victoria Fake. Victoria Fake, whose family he didn't even meet. How are you going to take her to the fantasy suites and potentially get down on one knee and get engaged to her when you didn't even meet her family or find out any more information about her? He knows nothing about her. They've never had a real conversation.
They've never had a real conversation. They haven't had a day of, like, being alone without crying, even when they're not alone, without Victoria crying. They have never successfully had one communication conversation, and they literally don't know anything about each other. Like,
Literally.
he doesn't know anything about Victoria F besides that she can't have normal conversations.
Yeah. And, like, who does he pick? Victoria Fake. Over freaking Kelsey. Peter is officially the dumbest person of all time.
I really wish because, okay, like you said, it seems like he was not on the same page with Kelsey as Kelsey was with Peter. But
like, they had a more, like, a stronger connection, I felt like. Like, they actually...
But I respect him for not giving Kelsey the rose. However, I do not respect him for giving Victoria the rose. I think he should have just sent them both home. Because why is he gonna give Victoria F the 100th chance? Like,
because he wants to go to the fantasy with her. He wants to go there with her. I think that's why. I think he just wants to...
He was thinking with his Peter?
Yeah. Yes, sorry.
Not his brain.
With
Is that absolutely, what you're saying?
100%.
I didn't think about that.
That's now the title of the episode. Okay.
Peter is thinking with his Peter.
Peter. No quotation, so he was thinking with his Peter. And so, absolutely, I can't believe he picked her over freaking Kelsey. Like, did he just forget his ex called Victoria out for ruining relationships? Like, Victoria may have amnesia, but I'm pretty sure Peter has amnesia because he just always forgets when girls lie to him and create drama.
Yeah.
A la Victoria P. When, like, did he just forget Victoria P lied to him about the Alea situation and, like, he kept her around and got rid of Alea?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
someone needs to do some kind of
test on Peter. Because,
yeah, they need to do some memory tests on him for his own sake.
Poor Kelsey. I really hope she's on Paradise. Like, she will thrive in Paradise.
Yeah,
I think.
She's a Paradise girl. I stand.
I really hope she's there. And, like, literally, her opening is gonna be a champagne bottle, like, blowing up. Like,
I can already see it.
Like,
yeah.
Shaken up. Like, that is her opening for Bachelor in Paradise. Yeah. She needs to go on it. It's like, it writes itself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's gonna be on there. She's gotta be on there.
I hope she finds someone on Paradise.
Me too.
Because I feel like she will.
Who
who first comes to mind? I feel like Derek, if he goes on. What do you think?
Derek!
Demi's ex.
Yes, and Taylor's ex.
Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot.
I forgot he got engaged to Taylor.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love him. He's so cute. He's so nice.
Yeah, he's really sweet. Mm-hmm. He still, like, comments on Demi's on Twitter. He told her happy birthday.
Oh, yes, I saw that. Yeah, totally. But also, we still need to see, like, whoever becomes Bachelorette. And those boys. Oh. Yeah, and those... Because those boys go to Paradise, too.
I wonder if Kelsey could be Bachelorette.
She could. I think she would make a great Bachelorette.
Honestly,
I mean, she would cry a lot, but, like, you know what? We need that.
No,
we need that in America.
We need that, the normalizing of crying.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So tonight is Fantasy Suite week. We saw in the previews that Madison... Oh, but before it ends, we see Madison, Peter's leaving, and Madison with her rose after she gets the rose, and Kelsey goes home. She's like, wait, Peter, can I talk to you? And so I think she's going to bring it up.
She's like pantsing, or... Pacing. Not pantsing. Like, I was saying panting like a dog, and then pantsing like
I thought you were trying to say panicking and pacing at the same time, and you were like pantsing. That's a new word.
We've been
if you panic and pace at the same time, then you're pantsing.
She's pantsing. No, but she was literally like pacing back and forth, sweating. I could see it on her brow. And she's like, Peter, can we talk for a little bit? You want to go over here? And all she's thinking about is like, oh my god, the fantasy suite. Like, oh my god, last season with Hannah Brown. Like, oh my god, 4 times. So,
I think she's going to say, we see it in the previews for tonight, that she kind of gives Peter an ultimatum.
That's
saying,
probably where she gives him the ultimatum.
yeah, like, I am saving myself for marriage and I don't want you to have sex with any other girl. And freaking Victoria Fake, that's disgusting. Like, that is disgusting. Like, how dare you do that to him? Like, bitch, you are the last one to talk about being disgusting, and how dare you do what you did to Peter.
Yeah,
being like, excuse you, what, Peter? Like,
she's the last person to be
has no
concerned
room to talk.
about Peter's like mental health. Like like he has taken a toll since like dealing with her. But yeah, like honestly, and then that's when Maddie says, I don't know if I can continue this relationship if knowing he has sex with the other women.
But, like, you knew he had sex with Hannah B.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why is it only the concern now? Like,
yeah, there is a lot of talk in like the social realm, like how America so far is okay with Madison telling that to Peter, but we were so quick to like
Luke
be upset at Luke P for doing that to Hannah B. I don't. People are like, it's a double standard. I don't think it's that, because for me, like, the way I see it, it's like, yeah, I mean, Madison kind of really has no right to tell Peter that, but she's not saying it like, no, I don't want you to do that. Like, you can't do that. Like, my husband would never do that, the way Luke P was. And Luke P the whole season was gaslighting Hannah B and, like, making her feel bad. And, like, he was a frat boy that would have sex all the time, and then Jesus came to him, or God spoke to him in the shower, and then he decided to be a virgin again, and then was, like, telling Hannah B, like, my wife would never do that. My wife would never have sex with another man. And she's like, okay. He's like, you better not have sex with another girl. And, like, Madison's like, for me, like, this is what I believe in, and, like, it would make me comfortable, like, knowing, like, the guy I'm gonna marry isn't gonna have sex with the girl. Like, she wasn't, like, being so aggressive, like, the way Luke P was.
But also the episode hasn't aired, so I think also once we see how everything plays out,
because the previews also like make it seem worse than it is.
Yeah, the previews always do that. But like also I have to say, like, I don't think it is right for Madison to give him that ultimatum. I don't remember by quote what she says. Like, if she says like, I'm gonna break up with him if he has sex with these other women, but like, it makes sense because that's part of her faith, but like, it doesn't make sense because she still willingly came on the show knowing all of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm still like, I don't agree with her putting that out there
on Peter
and saying that. So I mean, we'll see tonight. Like, what happens?
We'll have to see what happens tonight. Yeah. And then just one last thing that I do want to mention. So over Valentine's weekend, I don't know if I sent it to you, Tori, but I don't know if our benches saw. So Peter was apparently hanging out with Kylie Jenner and friends over Valentine's weekend. One of her friends was doing an Instagram story, and you can see Peter Weber in the back with Kylie Jenner, Stassi, Olivia Jade, and all of these people hanging out, and he's in the back, and you hear him saying, yeah, and then she came up to me, and she was like, hey, I'm Kelly. And then the video cuts out, and we don't see, like, we never see him post anything about it. Kylie never posted anything of him. It was just he was in the background of them hanging out for Valentine's.
Like, in the
Valentine's
same room.
Weekend. Yeah.
And, like,
literally,
you see Peter's
she's
back.
on the couch, and he's in the back. Yeah.
And it's distinctively Peter's voice.
Yeah. And saying she came up to me and she was like, hey, I'm Kelly. So I thought that was really interesting. Why is he hanging out with Kylie Jenner? That's like so random.
Very
like
random.
So odd.
It's like really odd. Like A-list celebrity, like I don't know, they're not, I feel like they're from a different world. So like I don't know how they would like meet,
how they would
they collided,
and also like if he's currently engaged to someone right now, like why aren't they in hiding spending Valentine's Day weekend together, and he's with literally like freaking gorgeous Kylie Jenner and freaking
all her friends.
Yeah, like
that is an interesting point, Valerie.
Yes, thank you.
So what are you saying? You think he's not with anyone? I mean, maybe the producers scheduled that and they had to
Yeah.
just rearrange like their date if he's with someone
Mm-hmm.
at the moment because like I don't know, from what it seems, he I don't know. I can't see. I literally don't know if I can see him with any of the girls at the end of
Yeah.
this.
But also, I do think we did make this prediction. I do think Maddie is the one that leaves, and that
Leaves.
Peter's mom, well, like ends up leaving,
Oh
and Peter's mom is
yes.
like, "Go get our girl" or whatever.
Yeah, because
Uh,
like that like what else is there left to see? And Barbara, Peter's mom, has only met Maddie.
met Madison, yeah, and I think she leaves because she finds out that he ends up having sex with the other two girls, and then she's like, "I can't do this," and then she ends up leaving, and then at the end, and then he's like, "I want," and I think Chris Harrison comes in and is like, Maddie left.
Mhm.
Like, we just found out right now that
You
she
think
left.
it's all
And then
related?
yeah, and I think Peter's mom was like, "Go get our girl," and then we'll see what happens.
Oh,
That's what I
my
think.
God. Wait, so we might be wrong. Is tonight is the fantasy suites and then it's the tell all,
The women tell all, and then it's the
the
finale.
final rose.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm really nervous. Like actually.
Dang. And like, there's been no spoilers. Or
I
anything
know,
like that.
reality
People still
Steve.
have the
Even
conspiracy.
reality Steve doesn't know, and that's kind of like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, did they pay
And
him?
he knows
Or
everything.
is he like genuinely like?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they did pay him because he's always spoiling everything. They're like, dude, like, please don't give it away this year. Like, here is some money. Like, keep it to yourself.
I wonder how
I don't
their
know, we'll
views
have
are
to
doing
see.
because of that.
I know.
I guess they went up.
But yeah,
Were you gonna mention the theory or the?
Oh, the conspiracy
conspiracy,
theories.
yeah.
I don't believe it that he is dating a producer.
Julie LaPlaca.
Yeah, that they were seen
New Year's.
hanging out New Year's Eve, watching the ball drop with his family. She spent like around Christmas time eating dinner with with his family. They were seen at a winery together, and like, I don't think it's true. I think like she's just his producer, and she has to travel with him and make sure like he's staying under the radar with whoever he's with, or traveling with him for New Year's Eve, because after New Year's Eve the season was going to start and he was doing promotion in New York, like Good Morning America and stuff like that. Like, everyone's feeding into it. I don't believe it. I don't think there's no way they'd give us a whole season and then he fell in love with the producer. Unless, like, he doesn't end up with anyone and then
Like currently now.
later on, now he's falling in love with the producer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also, like, I think if it was true, like, the Bachelor team wouldn't allow them to be seen together, to keep it secret,
Yeah.
and to keep
That's very true.
that under the radar, because she's part of the team and she knows how it works, and like they both would know that, and so I don't know.
Yeah, they're being very like loose about it and like
Casual. So
they wouldn't be so like casual about it if she really was like dating him right now. So that's that. So tonight is the episode. We're super excited, you guys. Let us know what you think. Let us know your predictions, what you think's gonna happen. We're excited. So
we'll see.
dang, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, but so that's it for our episode today. Thank
it
you guys
this
for tuning
episode.
in. Thank you, Val,
Thank
for being
you.
here.
Thank you, Tori. Love you, girl.
Love you. Well, I guess you guys just follow us on all our medias.
Yes, you know the drill. Like, follow, subscribe, rate, review. Do all the things. You know what to do. And like, for real, guys, can y'all go rate and review like this podcast on Apple Podcasts? 'Cause
rate us.
We need the reviews.
Rate us,
and we need the
review us,
rates.
and then DM us, and we'll send you some free merch of Binge Buzz.
We only got stickers,
we are limited in supply. And yeah.
So rate, review, screenshot it, and DM it to us, and we'll pick a winner and send you a Binge Buzz sticker for free.
Woo! So that's it.
Like the first 3 people to do it, because we only got 3 stickers left, y'all.
Like I said, we are limited in supply.
Dude, what if we get no one?
What? No one what?
Like, know when to screenshot and send us a review. Y'all better do it. Okay, anyways. Thank you to our anonymous person that sent in that song at the beginning of the episode.
Yes,
we told
thank
y'all
you.
to we told y'all, like, if any of our benches are talented and want to send in, like, a cool intro, we did have someone do it. They sent in that intro. They sang it
Shout
for
out
us.
to you
We are
guys.
so thankful. They wanted to stay anonymous, so we're keeping them anonymous. But thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Sounded very good, might I add. Very beautifully
Sounded so good.
produced.
Y'all should go on The Voice.
And also, shout out to our sponsor, I guess. Don't know if you guys noticed, but Val has a new mic.
New mic. I'm sounding better. I don't have that weird, like, glitchy feedback. I sound like an alien thing going on anymore. And so shout out to our sponsor, our brother. I stole this mic from his room. And so
if you're listening, Johnny, thank you. If not, you're going to find it right where it was.
Right back where it was with a little bit of tape on it, but it's fine.
So I think that's everything. Thank you guys for listening. We'll pick back up next week after the Fantasy Suites. We love you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.